Have you ever walked through an old European city and felt a whisper from the past? A story etched in stone of faith, finance, and the sword? Today, we're answering that call, a call that has echoed through Europe for nearly 1,000 years, the call of the Knights Templar. It all began around the year 1119. The First Crusade had just concluded, and Jerusalem was in Christian hands. But the roads leading to the Holy Land were treacherous, plagued by bandits. Pilgrims who had traveled for months were being robbed and killed. In response to this crisis, a French nobleman named Hugues de Payens and 8 of his relatives proposed a radical idea. They would form a new kind of order, monk knights, sworn to poverty, chastity, and obedience, whose sole purpose was to protect these vulnerable travelers. King Baldwin II of Jerusalem was impressed. He granted them a headquarters in a wing of his palace on the Temple Mount, the very site of Solomon's temple. From this sacred location, they took their name, the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, or as we know them, the Knights Templar. Initially, they were a small, humble group. So poor, in fact, that their original seal depicted 2 knights sharing a single horse. But that was about to change dramatically. With the powerful backing of Bernard of Clairvaux, a leading church figure, the Templars received formal papal recognition in 1129. This was their turning point. Donations began to pour in, money, land, farms, and even castles across Europe. Nobles, eager to contribute to the holy cause without going on crusade themselves, endowed the order with immense wealth. The Templars were more than just warriors. They were innovators. They created what many consider to be the world's first multinational corporation and banking system. A pilgrim could deposit their money at a Templar preceptory in London, receive a coded letter of credit, and then travel unarmed to Jerusalem, where they could withdraw their funds. The system was revolutionary, making travel safer and boosting commerce across the continent. Their network of commanderies, essentially fortified farms and administrative centers, became a common sight from Portugal to Poland. On the battlefield, they were legendary. Clad in their iconic white mantles emblazoned with a red cross, they were the elite shock troops of the Crusader armies. Bound by their code, they were forbidden from retreating unless the odds were impossibly stacked against them. Their disciplined charges often broke enemy lines and turned the tide of battle. They were disciplined, fearless, and utterly devoted. But as their wealth and power grew, so did suspicion and jealousy. They answered only to the Pope, which made many European kings uneasy. They operated in secret, their initiation rites and chapter meetings shrouded in mystery, which fueled dark rumors. Then came Friday the 13th, October 1307, a date that lives in infamy. King Philip IV of France, who was deeply in debt to the Templars, saw an opportunity. He ordered the simultaneous arrest of every Templar in France. They were charged with heresy, blasphemy, and a host of other fabricated crimes. Under brutal torture, many knights confessed to these false accusations. The order's last Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was slowly burned at the stake in Paris. As the flames consumed him, legend says he cursed both King Philip and Pope Clement V, who had abandoned the order. Within a year, both men were dead. In 1312, the Order of the Knights Templar was officially disbanded by the Pope. Their vast wealth was supposed to be transferred to their rivals, the Knights Hospitaller, but kings like Philip made sure to seize a significant portion for themselves. The Templars, as a formal institution, were gone. But did they truly disappear? Their story is woven into the very fabric of Europe. From the Temple Church in London to the mysterious Convent of Christ in Tomar, Portugal, their symbols and structures remain. The tales of their hidden treasure and their secret knowledge have inspired countless books, movies, and conspiracy theories. The Templars were pioneers of international finance, masters of logistics, and peerless warriors. They built an empire of faith and finance that spanned a continent, only to see it dismantled in a single day. Their rise was meteoric, and their fall was devastating, but their legacy, the Call of the Templar, continues to fascinate and inspire us to this very day. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as captivating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. See you in the next one.